There's a quiet, often invisible moment where everything shifts. When a person at a pivotal crossroads makes a decision that will change the course of their life forever. It's not glamorous. It's not filled with applause or instant recognition. It's a moment of sacrifice, a choice. For Elon Musk, that moment was the recognition of a simple truth. Success would not come from conventional paths. It would come from something far deeper and far more demanding than most people are willing to endure. To understand Musk's radical transformation, you need to understand his most critical sacrifice. Time. Time, that resource that we all have, yet so often squander. In a world full of distractions where people are perpetually chasing fleeting moments of gratification, Musk made one of the most difficult decisions of all. He gave up the luxury of time spent carelessly, time for leisure, time for escape, time for trivialities. Most people live their lives in a sort of time fog, where days bleed into one another without much thought. The hours seem to stretch on, forever, yet in hindsight they slip away unnoticed. Musk, however, understood that time is a commodity more valuable than money, more finite than any material resource. Once spent, it cannot be regained. This understanding led him to make a choice that few are willing to make. He stripped away the unnecessary. Every hour of his day became an investment. Elon Musk did not just make sacrifices for the sake of work. He sacrificed time in its purest form. He knew in a way that few others do that time is the ultimate equalizer. It's the one thing we all have in equal measure. But how we choose to use that time is what ultimately separates those who build empires from those who are content with the status quo. For Musk, this meant pouring hours into his ventures, dedicating himself to the future he envisioned. He didn't just throw himself into work blindly, though. Musk meticulously crafted his time. It wasn't a haphazard effort. It was a deliberate, strategic effort to allocate time to the things that truly mattered. His companies, his vision, the groundbreaking work he was doing with Tesla, SpaceX, and beyond. He wasn't just managing time, he was mastering it, bending it to serve his higher purpose. In his early years, Musk would work up to 100 hours a week. But it wasn't just about putting in the hours, it was about where those hours went. He prioritized time with people who pushed him forward, who were aligned with his vision, who challenged him to think bigger and bolder. He cut out the distractions, the endless conversations that led nowhere, the time spent on meaningless tasks that served no purpose beyond their own fleeting satisfaction. Imagine the level of self-discipline required to operate at this level. It's one thing to work long hours, but it's another entirely to have the focus and the clarity of mind to direct every minute towards something bigger than yourself. Musk, unlike most, didn't see time as something to be consumed for immediate pleasure. He saw it as the most precious asset he could spend, an investment in the future, and this relentless pursuit of maximizing time was not temporary. It wasn't a hustle that Musk adopted to achieve success for a short period. It was his lifestyle, woven into the fabric of his being. The years of intense sacrifice, the lack of sleep, the missed opportunities for traditional pleasures, it all accumulated into the radical transformation that has defined his life. Musk didn't just want to be a billionaire. He wanted to change the world. And to do that, he had to sacrifice time, in its most personal, human form, for the sake of something that, at the time, seemed impossible. The question that most people fail to ask themselves is, what would they be willing to sacrifice to achieve something truly extraordinary? Musk's answer was time, and in that sacrifice, he found the key to everything. It wasn't about burning the candle at both ends. It was about every minute being aligned with his mission. Every moment was a decision. Every decision was a step closer to his radical vision. This was Musk's first great sacrifice, and it's one that would lay the foundation for the rest of his journey. But it wasn't just about time. It was about the deeper commitment to using that time in the most purposeful way possible. His success wasn't an accident. It was the result of years of conscious, deliberate choices. And all of those choices were anchored in one simple truth. Time is the only thing that you can never get back. What do you do with your time? How do you spend it? It's a question that holds the power to reshape your life. Musk's radical transformation didn't come from doing more of the same. It came from a deep personal understanding that time is a gift that, when used wisely, can change the world. The sacrifice of time wasn't just about working harder. It was about working with purpose, with clarity, and with an unwavering commitment to something far greater than any one individual. If there's one thing Musk's story teaches us, it's this: the most powerful thing you can give up is your time. Because once you sacrifice time for something that truly matters, you unlock the potential to achieve the extraordinary. To most people, comfort is the ultimate goal. It's the dream they work for, the ideal they chase. After all, why wouldn't someone want to live a life of ease, of luxury, of simple pleasures? The idea of comfort is so ingrained in our culture that it's often seen as the pinnacle of success. But for Elon Musk, comfort was not something to be attained. It was something to be discarded. If you want to understand the true nature of radical transformation, you must first understand this: true greatness is never born in a place of comfort. Comfort is a silent killer of potential. It numbs your senses, dulls your ambition, and keeps you locked in a cycle of mediocrity. Elon Musk recognized this truth early on, and in doing so, he sacrificed the very thing that most people spend their entire lives striving for: comfort. Musk's decision to relinquish comfort was not just a fleeting thought. It was a fundamental, core principle that shaped every aspect of his journey. He didn't just reject the ease of financial security or the luxury of time spent idly. He rejected the very concept of comfort itself. He understood, perhaps better than anyone else, that comfort is an illusion that keeps people from realizing their full potential. When Musk was building companies like Tesla and SpaceX, his life was far from comfortable. He didn't retreat into the luxury of private jets or sprawling mansions. In fact, there were times when he had very little money left, moments when he was on the verge of losing it all. Yet despite the financial instability, Musk didn't seek comfort. He sought challenge, he sought discomfort, and he embraced the feeling of being on the edge of failure, where every decision could either elevate or destroy everything he had worked for. This willingness to sacrifice comfort became a defining trait of Musk's character. He didn't shy away from difficult situations or painful challenges. He leaned into them. He sought out the things that others would avoid, the places where failure was not just possible, but likely. Musk thrived in environments that would make most people recoil in fear. Think about the early days of Tesla and SpaceX, two companies that at one point seemed like impossible dreams. Musk poured everything he had into both ventures. He bet his entire fortune on them. There was no safety net, no fallback plan. When the world doubted him, when his companies were on the verge of collapse, Musk didn't take a step back and look for comfort. Instead, he doubled down, faced the challenges head-on, and continued to push forward. It wasn't just about physical comfort. Musk sacrificed the emotional comfort of being surrounded by people who told him what he wanted to hear. He surrounded himself with individuals who challenged his ideas, who pushed him beyond his limits, who didn't care about making him feel comfortable or validated. His focus was never on avoiding discomfort. It was on facing it, conquering it, and using it as fuel to propel himself and his companies toward greatness. It's easy to romanticize success from the outside, to imagine that billionaires live lives of ease and comfort, free from hardship. But the reality of Musk's life was anything but comfortable. It was filled with sleepless nights, long hours of work, constant pressure, and an unrelenting drive to achieve the impossible. Comfort didn't factor into his equation, and perhaps the greatest sacrifice Musk made in his pursuit of success was the sacrifice of his mental and emotional comfort. He didn't let himself settle for complacency or mediocrity. He constantly sought discomfort, because in discomfort there is growth. In discomfort there is transformation. The greatest breakthroughs come not from a place of ease, but from a place of struggle and challenge. Many people, when faced with difficulty, seek comfort. They look for ways to retreat, to find relief from the pain, to step away from the challenge. But Musk didn't back down. He saw each challenge as an opportunity, each setback as a lesson, each moment of discomfort as a chance to build resilience. He didn't run from the pain. He leaned into it, fully aware that it was the path to the extraordinary. There is a powerful paradox at play here. The more Musk embraced discomfort, the more successful he became. His willingness to endure hardship, to live without the luxury of comfort, gave him the strength and tenacity to keep pushing forward. He didn't just survive the discomfort, he thrived in it. And in doing so, he achieved what most people could never even imagine: a life of radical transformation. In the end, Musk's greatest gift to himself wasn't just his wealth or his success. It was the willingness to sacrifice comfort in pursuit of something far greater. By rejecting comfort, he liberated himself from the limitations that hold so many others back. He didn't settle for the safe and predictable. He chased the unknown. He welcomed the challenges, and he redefined what it means to be truly successful. And this, above all, is what sets him apart from the rest. Because the true secret of billionaires, the secret that Musk discovered early on, is that comfort is the enemy of greatness. The road to success isn't about making life easier. It's about pushing through the discomfort, staying relentless in the face of adversity, and never, ever choosing the easy path over the one that leads to something extraordinary. So what does it really mean to transform your life? What does it mean to radically shift the course of your existence in pursuit of something few dare to even imagine? Elon Musk didn't follow a roadmap written by someone else. He didn't wait for approval. He didn't seek comfort or balance or ease. He made sacrifices, real ones, the kind that most will never even consider. And in those sacrifices, he found the space to build something far greater than himself. The truth is, transformation doesn't happen in the light. It happens in the shadows, in the silent hours when no one is watching. It happens in those unseen moments when you choose to stay focused while others are sleeping, when you reject comfort in favor of growth, when you give up something easy today for the sake of something extraordinary tomorrow. And that is exactly what Elon Musk did, over and over again. Not for praise, not for attention, but because he couldn't imagine living any other way. The lives of billionaires like Musk are often glamorized, made to look effortless by highlight reels and headlines. But the real story, the one you've just experienced, is made of hard choices, of deep personal sacrifice. Time, comfort, security, reputation, these were all placed on the altar of purpose. And not just once, but continuously. Because transformation doesn't happen in a single moment. It happens every day, in every decision, in every act of discipline, courage, and relentless pursuit. Maybe you're watching this and wondering, could I do the same? Could I give up the things holding me back? The things keeping me stagnant? That's not a question anyone else can answer for you. But here's what you need to know. Greatness is not reserved for the chosen few. It's available to those who are willing to pay the price, not with money, but with sacrifice, with hunger, with the willingness to burn the old version of yourself to the ground in order to build something new. Musk's story isn't about money. It's about vision, about obsession, about a refusal to live a life that was anything less than extraordinary. And that journey, the one marked by sacrifice and purpose, is something you can choose too. Not by copying him, but by finding your own reason, your own mission, your own radical transformation. If this message hit something inside you, if you felt even a flicker of recognition, of possibility, of fire, don't let it fade. Let this be the moment you decide to change. Not next week. Not when it's convenient. Now. And if you found value in this video, if it made you stop and reflect, even for a moment, do one thing that helps this message reach others who need it. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next story that could shift your perspective. And I want to hear from you. What is one sacrifice you know you need to make in order to become who you were meant to be? Drop it in the comments below. Let's make this a place where real transformation begins, because at the end of the day, this isn't just about billionaires. It's about you.